Great. I will start up fresh. So just to know, does everyone hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Yeah, what I was sharing is that in today's generation, it's very important that we know what exactly it takes to have your message out there. It's a fast-paced digital world, and so grabbing and holding a visitor's attention is really very crucial. One of the ways that very many people, very many organizations use, companies use, is to design the single page websites, not to take a lot of time getting their users to go through a lot of information, unnecessary information, but the one page website helps you to boil down to that information that you think is very important for your users, but also helps them to know what to do when they visit your website. So this presentation will explore these key elements and the design principles that will help us to craft a one-page website that not only stands out, but is going to help you effectively to convert your users into engaged visitors. So, slide. Now, we'll go to the breakout rooms. Please, breakout. Yeah, we'll go to the breakout rooms.
Okay. Thank you, Tusi. You're ready for the breakout rooms. Cindy and the team will assist with splitting people into rooms.
Hold on real quick. Tusi, I thought you, let's go ahead and explain a little bit more about the tools to create your own landing page. And we can put in the chat the Wix or the Squarespace tools that you could use, because we'd like everybody to have those available while they're in start working on their site.
Right. Okay. So maybe let me share these 4 principles that we'll be using to design and also find out what you need to design a website. The first one is its focus and clarity. One is that a single page streamlines content, and it is intended to guide your users towards a specific call to action. So what is exactly within your organization profile, what information do you think is important for someone to know? And that is your why. Why do you exist? When they just land to your website, what is that information you want them to get to know? And what specific action do you want them to take when they visit your website? Is it driving them to your email so that they can send you an email? Is it getting them to the net, to your campaign? Is it getting them to know maybe who to contact after? And what is exactly the purpose of the one-page site, or why are you communicating? So this is the first step, crafting our why the site is needed. And then the secondly is most of the technical designs, where you need to design a mobile-friendly website, since many of the users are going to be using mobile phones basically to access your website. And again, you need to know that it must be cost-effective. So there are tools that are free, which we'll be sharing on this call, but it's also important to know that you need to have that professional look of your website, so it's easy for your users to trust you and also get to take their actions without fear that their information is going to be used for other purposes. So it has to be cost effective in terms of development and maintenance. And there are sites and tools that you can explore, which we'll be sharing over here. And lastly is to create an engaging story for your users. So this means that you have to look out for a journey. You take your user on a journey. Let's say Seluna. When you look at Seluna, let me just share maybe for Seluna. When you share your information, you're taking your users from the point that they had assumptions about something. When they search in Google and they search for Seluna, what do they find? So from there, they are on your site now. Let's say Seluna. What's that first information you want to give to them? Is it you communicate to them, for example, as is to lead farmers from subsistence to sustainable agribusiness, and then you share from there. You take them slowly into understanding why exactly you exist, and what things you do, and why they should care, and then what they should do. It's more of a story that you take them on. So the story is shared through graphics,
I'm
through
so
text
sorry.
too now. I was talking about creating
Thank you,
the
Kevin.
story for your users. The first step is once they search about you in the Google search, any search engine of their choice, they will want to come to they will come to your website. And what is that information that you share? People want to know that someone really cares for them from the why, not from the what. So you don't immediately share that we make phones, for example, or we are manufacturing stools for kids in schools. The reason you have to share your why first. So for us, our vision is to lead the farmers from subsistence to sustainable agribusiness. And this is just a sort of some little text that can help them to understand more briefly and get them to interest to learn more. And then what exactly you need them to do after they learn about this. So for example, ours is this text here, which says the Green Revolution. So let me just put it into the white.
Yes, please.
So the Green Revolution.
Yeah.
Sorry for the green anyway.
The
The Green Revolution.
The green evolution. Yes, we get the reference. So you're about to tell us. Yes.
So you can read that, and then after this information, people will want to know more. So this is under development, and what I'm sharing is they want to learn more. So they usually, for example, this is targeting. You have to select your audience. Who do you want to speak to with your website? When I want to speak to investors, what I'm interested in them doing is to view our pitch deck, and so they can have another conversation or a conversation with us, schedule a conversation with us. So they try to view our deck. It takes them to another site where they are simply going to share their information, just their email, and then I know who is accessing the pitch deck. So it's clear for me to follow up with them. So this is what they call to action, for example, that I want them to do.
Right.
But more of,
okay.
I'm trying to control. I'm trying to move this box out so that I can share.
Okay. You want to take the chat box out?
Yeah, I want to move it.
Okay.
Sometimes it's.
Because we can see the entire screen.
Yeah, are you able to move this?
If you tell us what you're trying to move.
The dialogue, there is the mute, start video, security, just the menu.
The menu. Okay, we have I have a full screen, and we can see, I can see very well the Google Slides page run.
So Tusi, perhaps if you log out of the slide and then log back in and have the one selected that you wanted to show, it's just not re-showing that page that you're on.
I did.
So that's it. There you go.
It's okay. So back to this.
Is that right?
Now, yeah. So this is the information and this is the flow. From there, this is if they don't take action here at the first step, then they want to read more information. And then this must be compelling to them. Like the target people that we are looking to make sure that they engage with our information is that these are people who want to shape the future of Africa's backbone. They are mindful about the food security of Africa, and they were also mindful about regenerative agriculture, regenerative tools that can support smallholder farmers. So when they read more about here, they're going to know, okay, I need this. This is the right kind of people that I need to engage with. And so they will want to know what exactly are you doing after we've spoken from the point of from the why, and then we'll tell them what are we doing. And this is the information that we share with. We are solving the biggest problems, and then how we do that is the personalized soil health, supercharged seeds for sustainable yields, and then empowering farmers as agribusiness. So just quickly to go through this, so it doesn't really take a lot of time. So the graphics have to speak to the what you do, and you cannot have the information here which shows someone maybe playing football, and on the other side you have soil health or sustainable yields. If your story is more of speaking about farmers, then you want to show farmers, you can choose to have these real pictures of people, because it's easier to connect with other people. They will know this is a person maybe in a village in Uganda, and this is how they look like, and they want to connect with them. So there are also other sources where you can get these avatars, or you can get the free images if you don't have already images for your organization that you can share. So this is the information. Okay. And lastly, the how, which I have shared about how you do what you do, the what, the how, and then just a video to interest them more in case they want to know more information. But they've already decided by this time, they've already decided to either leave your website that you don't appeal to them, or take action that you want them specifically to take. So some of the testimonials helps them to know that, okay, this is information from, this is someone who's using this product or this service. Now for an organization, this would be, we've supported maybe this kind of women, and then here this woman speaks out what exactly has been their experience with the services that maybe Pearl organization Zambia offers, or whatever enterprise that you're running offers. So the testimony helps people to, it's social proof basically, to let people know that this is a real website. These are people that are out there who are learning, who are getting these services or products, and then you're done. So some of the times there is these questions that someone still has in their minds. So they want to know how they still have these questions, but they've not mentioned them at the beginning. So they want to go to frequently asked questions, and this you develop frequently asked questions after knowing that interacting with a number of people and knowing that this is the information that they usually request for, but we don't need to make it the focus of our website or put it in all the other pages of the websites. So how do you support farmers? What do I need to join? How freelance? And then lastly is the call to action again. When they need to join, they will click, and that is all, with a footer. So this is more of the information. Is comprised of a header. I did not talk about the technical kind of things like header, body, footer, but this is usually the information, the structure. You have a header where there is the menu for seed loans, farmers market, soil data, company, blog. You have a logo, you have the menu, and sometimes you have the action point, get started, but someone may not really want to get started immediately before they understand. So that's the header, and then the information you share, the hero section. So this is called the hero section, leading farmers from
hero section. Okay.
And the hero section is we want people to, at least it does the 70% of the work usually. When people land on your website, they're going to look at this, read information, and then they know, okay, I think I am wasting time. It takes between 15 seconds until they know that this is the right website. Unfortunately, so the attention span is very low, which means that you have to condense the information that you think is very important for them to share. Very, very important for them to share.
Absolutely.
So this is the body, you share the why and the what, and then lastly, the framework of the why, what, how, when, and all that by Simon Sinek is just meant for us to connect to people first, because people care about the purposes. Your why is your purpose, and then from there, what do you do to make sure that your purpose is achieved? That's the point. So maybe if you have any questions from here, I'm happy to take them, and then we can go into breakout rooms.
So thank you so much for that, Tusi. And even for a dinosaur like myself, I've made some notes and it's sticking. My why, I appreciate the fact that people have very limited time. I love how concise it is. I love the focus on clarity. And I'm sure that people have picked up on that. Thank you for taking the time to do this. So I think
Am I, as a moderator,
Mhm.
sharing my screen? I do have a Wix account, but I can't find the password.
okay, we might need to do a real quick a change password or lost password request. But I believe the request is that people create an account because we want this as practical as possible. So on leaving this session, we want people to have an account that's been set up on Wix or on Squarespace that you can literally, essentially carry on with developing your landing page. And so if that's incorrect, if I could ask Cindy or Debbie to correct that, but my understanding was that everyone can very quickly log in and create their account so that we can go into the breakout rooms and get even more practical.
Mhm.
Yes, so some people are not afraid that their passwords will be seen.
Okay, so let's go ahead and go into those breakout rooms. And we're hoping in the breakout rooms that we could help with any of the questions that you have on as you're creating those pages for your site. So I'm moving folks around so that you're in a room with not a lot of people. So let's open the rooms.
Thank you so much. I know, I am certain if it was anything like our breakout room, that some of you feel like you need a bit more time. I hope you found it engaging. I hope that you found it informative. Let's even start with that. Apologies, can we please have people muted? I feel like there's some.
It's me.
Okay, thank you, Debbie. And so, yes, if there was anything like our session, I hope you found it engaging. I hope you found it informative. What I find with a lot of sessions like this is what you're doing is basically just helping you break through that barrier, whatever it is that has been holding you back from setting up that landing page. I hope you got examples. You can see that there's so much out there. This is easily accessible. We were setting up pages within seconds of logging onto the page, and that really is fantastic. So it's a case of do as much as possible after this. Please feel free to come through with questions. This is a fantastic opportunity. Having seen this, having had a chance to run through, hopefully, a sample landing page using Wix, we would love to hear from you. Tusi is on standby. He's ready to answer your questions. Please send them across in the chat. You can put up your hands if you want to speak. We're happy to hear them. And thank you for the feedback. I can see a feedback. Thank you so much, Dariot. And we appreciate the feedback on the session so far. We really do want to get a chance to answer any questions that people might have. Did you think that you needed additional time? Did anyone get to try besides Wix? Did anybody get to try the second option? Squarespace? Let me see. I think Menway, are you saying something? Aha, apologies. Chibamba has his hand up. Thank you, Chibamba.
Yeah, I think my question is around Wix. Does it come with a domain, or after building this website, you need to then register a domain and then pay for it? I think that's the one thing I just need clarity on.
Yeah.
Good question.
Thank you, Katlego. So maybe I will also want to share this challenge with the tool that you choose between these two. So usually with the free tools, the catch for these CRMs is just to make sure that you're able to there is a point at which they want you to pay. So you do have you do not have a domain name, a customized domain name, for example, tusi.com or tusi.io or tusi.kenya or tusi.uganda. But when you want to have that domain name, what they usually provide is, for example, your name for the organization, say Tusi, and then .wix.com for the host, and then / again they say Tusi, which is really sometimes not that nice. But when you want to buy a professional domain name, they offer that option there. So they will ask you Do you want to assign a domain name, which is also a process that is easy to go through. You just need to read through the menu, and then you can upgrade. So with Wix, it's upgrading. You upgrade from the free plan and then to the premium plan, which is a bit costly if you don't have a budget for that. Alternatively, so the domain name might be about between $16. Alternatively, there are free tools that they are cheaper hosts that you can use, like Namecheap, GoDaddy, and thank you so much, Christine, for sharing that.
Fantastic,
So Namecheap
yeah.
has very cheap names that you can acquire, and then the hosting service as well. I also find it that sometimes it's easier for you to have a domain name and the professional emails and your website hosted if you work with an agency and they already have an existing hosting. So they just tag your information to that, which is usually easy. The challenge with the other free tools like Squarespace or Wix is that they will make it hard for you to transfer your information to these to Namecheap or these other hosts, so that because they want literally to charge you, and they will either make it hard by charging you very, very high prices so you can stay. So that's what you should know, and yeah, plan on maybe the best way you can go about this.
Thank you, Tusi. I think what it does is just puts you on alert. And thank you so much as well, Christine, for the recommendation. So for those who've missed it, if you look at the chat, Christine's put in another website she recommends. Excellent customer service, we hear. You get email addresses. That's a great bonus as well. It might cost you. I think it would be sensible to put some cost aside. And the good thing is with the options, I think take your time and explore the various options and then get a feel for what you're getting out of each one. But I think for sustainability and the longevity, I think you can expect to, pay for that service, especially as you're getting quite a bit in return for it. And it's fantastic to see all the help that you're getting with websites these days for individuals like myself who might be technology dinosaurs. It's nice to see that there are templates in there. It makes your life so much easier. And so I hope that what you take away from this is just the fact that nothing should be stopping you. We shouldn't be in paralysis mode around this. Start. I love what you spoke about to see today, but landing pages, just being very quick about giving people, it's like your elevator shot and your elevator pitch rather on a page. And so you're giving people a really quick feel of what your business is about, what is your why. You're getting them to really very quickly see what the call to action is. What do you want them to do? It's giving you links to it. It's not a full website, but it certainly gives people a feel for what your business is about. I don't think anyone should be leaving the session today without having additional clarity around this, without having options that they can certainly explore some more. We really appreciate your guidance and the suggestions from individuals so far. So if anybody else has suggestions around websites that they've used or challenges even that they've had with some of the sites, it's good to just go in forewarned. Please feel free to share that in the chat, and I'll see. I think there are more questions.
Yeah, Christine, can you share your experience, because you've done this quite a bit? What kind of tips do you have when creating your own website?
Well, I think the advice given today certainly was very sound. I think it's worth noting that if you're doing a website for yourself, or if, say, Lisa Communications, my agency, is doing a big corporate site, which we just put in a proposal for today, as a matter of fact, that the principles are the same. It doesn't vary. It's you've got to determine what name you want, you reserve your URL, you decide at the end if you want to put your country like .ng, .zm, .za, which is cheaper, but it doesn't give you the search engine optimization possibilities if it's for an organization that you might get with a .org, a .com, or a .net.
Right.
And that's also really important to think about from the very beginning.
Right.
Is what is your search engine optimization keywords, keeping them the same, because you have a website presumably because you want someone to find you. And so let's say you meet someone, they tell them about what you do, and they can't remember your name of your company. or your NGO, but they remembered you did agriculture, you did Kenya, and your first name was Charlotte. So they could put those words in Google and find you. So you just really also need to think about, there's so many things to think about, but don't get overwhelmed. It's all logical, it's all the same, you follow a process. So
Thank
good job.
you so much. No, that's a very good tip, Christine,
Thank you so
especially
much, Christine.
especially, yeah, as a consideration, if you're thinking about ensuring that, yes, your business might be all the way out in Kenya and Nigeria and Zimbabwe, but you do want to be able to be reached by people across the world, then you want to be thinking about that website name and how wide your search engine optimization. Thank you for the fancy words. I feel quite knowledgeable tonight. Thank you for these words. I think it certainly helps, and these are things to consider. And so please, if anybody else has any additional tips, please feel free to share them here. And yes, we'll just, let me see if there are any additional questions in the chat. I don't see any additional questions here. Thank you.
Maybe also Christine can help with the readability score. I do remember she could.
I hear that.
Christine, please say that again to see.
Maybe Christine could share more about the readability score tool that you can use to know that your website is really communicating easily and people are getting what you're communicating versus the assumption that it is.
Fantastic.
What are you thinking?
In Google Analytics?
The readability score.
Oh,
So-
readability score. Okay, I wasn't
Yes,
getting that.
we all remember how important that is to you.
Yeah,
so
I'm always lecturing. That's my favorite lecture.
you.
If you've heard me speak, you know, and it has to do with the website or it has to do
Yeah.
with the document. And
Yeah.
poor Debbie's ears hurt when I say this. But you need to target your website to about a grade 10 or 11 reader. Especially if it's not, like if it's a science website, yeah, that's different. If it's a university website, that's probably different too. But for the most part, you want to make sure that you're not using jargon, you use easy to understand words, and there are all kinds of readability tools on Google that you can check to see, because it's an ongoing challenge with Catalyst because there are so many bright sparks and bright people that we don't need to be writing at PhD or master's degree levels because we're going to lose people. Plus, it's sometimes people want to translate into another language.
Absolutely.
And so with AI tools now, which is a whole other thing, you can do that. So just keep things as simple as you can, but explain them well. Check out what you've said on an AI program to see if they can say it more clearly, and decide if it's in English, if it's American English or it's British English, and keep it the same. Yeah.
Consistency. Thank you.
Most people learned,
And-
I learned British English, but American English is sadly creeping in. American English is a dialect.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Tussie. I like the consistency. I like the reminder around the additional uses for AI. So that's grade 10 or 11. Just for the purposes of everybody on the call, what age are we talking about? Because I know that depending on what country you're in, grade 10 or 11 differs. So what age are we talking about? So you want the language that you're using to be readable by people, a maximum that grade level. What age is that, Kristen?
It's usually around grade 16 to 18.
That's
I mean, age 16 to 18.
All right,
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Thank you so much. Apologies, Menue, I think your hand was up while Christine was speaking.
Yes, so there are a few tips that I want to give here. I know
Please
Tusling has introduced WAS to us, and many of us, we have grabbed the concept of using WAS, and we see it as being cheap so that we can use it. But what comes with it, there are a lot of disadvantage that goes with it. So one of the things we have to know, if you plan on having a large information or large data in future, I will advise that you do not work with WAS, because working with WAS will, in the future, where you want to move your website from there to a professional server, there will be no way, and all of those data might be lost, or you might be doing copy and paste. So there are a couple of server or website, there are a couple of hosts that you pay less money for, and then people are able to host. So if you aren't able to host yourself, you can liaise with agencies that are into website designing and development. They can host you as part of their hosting plan. They can add your website into their plan, getting you a domain. Because when you are paying for the service, you will have another advantage to move around, like you creating emails, you moving your, if there is a shutdown, it's easier to move your your data folder from one location to another location using the FTP, all of those. But if you just watch something works, many institutions or beginner at the beginning, it's good to use WAS just like you want to practice in website development. Even in the WordPress, WordPress also has a free version that you use. There, WordPress.com, you are able to do blocking from A, and there are other things even on the Google before. There are also free blocking on Google that you can use. So if you look at this, this is one thing, they said that choosing shared. If you want to click on the menu, you see the disadvantage that is there. Clicking on the menu tab is difficult. It's not navigating to the right information that you want to get onto easier. Let's say quickly, because the home page of the site is like a one-page website that has the menu tabs, which of course you could easily click on one of those tabs and then it will just drop you to the section on that home of the website, but it's difficult to see that. So I just share one website with you that is built on WordPress and is being hosted on a professional server that you can just look at and compare. I'm not saying that the work isn't good. It's good, most especially if you don't have the finance. But if you have plan, or if you believe that you will need to move in the future, so it's better for you to start at the early stage, getting on a professional server, than you inputting more information onto WAS that will become difficult in the future for you to move from there to a professional server. And one thing I can also recommend to people, someone is saying yes, GoDaddy is also good, but to be frank, Bluehost is good. It's well secured. I have worked with Bluehost. I have many websites on Bluehost. Sometimes, even if there is a problem that I cannot solve, Bluehost always have representatives online to solve it. So you being a beginner, you don't have the idea of navigating around the server. It's easier for Bluehost to, once you communicate with Bluehost, there are technicians going to stay from where they are and then they solve your problem. So I have worked with Namecheap. I had problem with Namecheap before I moved from Namecheap. I went to GoDaddy. Also, I faced problems in terms of responses, in terms of fees. You see it like being too low, but it's
And I definitely think you're right, Manu, is the sense that if you have the money to have a developer help you with your site, you're going to end up with a better quality product. But if you're at the point where you're just trying to get customers or getting names, then this is your option, for now. I do want to share with you what I put in the chat this is Mixo. And so if I put in Mixo that I want to start an agriculture technology business in Africa, which was one of our attendees' business ideas, Mixo will also, and you would say here, basically, this is the way to get your email. But say I wanted to get subscribers on the site. So a lot of times you have to put your email in there. And then they'll put in the description and automatically generate AI content, wording, layout, everything. So our joke is you can create a website in 1 minute, 2 minutes, because it takes a little bit of time to write the copy. But It's quite entertaining. And we do this in the classroom. So I taught entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship. I like it because I get the students out there and testing out a website to see if people are interested in that product to begin with. So as you can see, this is the site that comes up, Revolutionizing Agriculture in Africa. It's written copy. It's made up a company name for you, Agritech Africa. Here's my email list. And then you can add in our solutions and other things as well. Precision yielding. The other thing you can do is regenerate the site. So you can come up with new layouts with that site that you can just ask and change things around. So this is a new layout for that site. I also have one open for a marketing and communications firm. So this was elevating my brand marketing communications. So I'm going to regenerate the site. And this is my branding. This is my brand message. These are strategic marketing communications, creative brand storing, etc. I'm not a fan, obviously, of doing this in terms of using all their copy and using all their graphics and whatever, but it's a starting point. So it's just another way that you can create a landing page inexpensively to get your product out there. Or we call this like proof of concept. If you want to get subscribers that are interested in buying that product or service, you can actually use the site for that. The downside of these sites is, yes, you would use, like if it's a Wix free site, it would have Wix in the naming, but we think for just generating ideas, it's fine until you get into having more money for that business. So that's my little tip on Mixo and Wix. And I know we have to wrap up here soon.
Yes. No, that's very helpful. I think that is what is definitely coming through. It's different phases and full appreciation for the different phases and stages that the social entrepreneurs and innovators who are part of this membership are at. So what we're not going to be walking away from here is that there are people who will have no option whatsoever. So it's fantastic that there's you're starting off, this is option one. And as you have more funds and the flexibility, you can take it up a notch. So thank you to both Debbie and to Menray for that wonderfully interactive bit of feedback and addition. This is what we wanted to do today. And so before we go to the polls, we would just like to ask you all to take a little minute to tell us a little bit about what you're grateful for today. We know that it is coming to the end of the day for those of us who are on the African continent, and perhaps still the beginning of the day for those who are logging in from the States. But wherever you're at today, whatever you've done today, whether you're starting or coming to the end of the day, it'd be great to just hear a little bit about what you're grateful for today. We just have 1 minute to do that. You can put it in. And, our inspiration for this just goes back to Confucius, who said in 451 BC, it's amazing to see how this is still relevant before Christ. He said this: "What I hear, I forget. What I see, I may remember. But what I do, I understand." And it's a really beautiful one to reflect on, to think about. So please just share with us, having had this, what you've hopefully found interactive session, please share with us in the chat if this session has helped you understand how to create your own website. As I've said, as a full-on tech dinosaur, this is exciting for me. I'm just reminded again about the amazing tools, the amazing stage in our world that we're at with technology, that things that used to be so much more complicated are a lot easier now. So yes, we would love to just hear from you what you're grateful for in the chat. Thank you, Mitchell. Yes, clarity and direction. I like that. That is, and I like the brevity as well in your answer, because that's true. Clarity and direction has certainly come through for you today. And Jerry, fantastic. Jerry says, this session has really opened up our minds on how to create our own websites. And most importantly, learning on AI application is amazing. I thought so, Jerry. I particularly loved the wonderful session that Debbie did using your business idea. And it's so cool to see how it went from literally ideation to a practical in a matter of minutes, under 5 minutes. And so, Jared, I'm waiting to see your new website. So thank you. So whilst you're doing that and putting in your little snippets on what you're grateful for today, we would like to get your feedback. Please share your feedback with us. This is for all of us. This is what Catalyst 2030 is about, just ensuring that we're constantly developing, learning from each other. We're cross-pollinating. I love that phrase. And so it's been great to get feedback. We thank you to those who've taken the time to share with us, to give us feedback, to give us ideas on hurdles to expect, because all these things help prepare you for what you're going to be doing. Please, please, please share your feedback with us. You can only make... Sarika, I'm not sure if you know you've been unmuted. Did you want to say something? We would love to hear from you. Okay, I don't think so. And if, as we do this as well, a question comes to mind, we might be able to squeeze one more answer out of Tusi. But please, please, please help us fill out the feedback form. There are only 4 questions. It's short, we've made it easy. Yes. And whilst we're doing that, we have another class coming up, and hopefully this is of interest to everyone. I don't think there's anyone who could say they couldn't do without additional of what this masterclass is offering. And dun dun dun, it is a fundraising masterclass that is coming up. If you have a look in the let's see, it should be showing now. I think it's visible to everyone. Yeah. So there will be a fundraising masterclass coming up. Please look out for information on this. Mark your calendars. It's going to be part of the Systems Change Learning Series. You know what that's about. It's going far deeper. It's going to be teaching you about upgrading your social media content through Canva. Now, Canva, I know about this. I'm feeling excited because I don't feel as dinosaur-like as I typically am. Canva, I know a little bit about, but it's exciting to see that you're talking about upgrading your social media content through Canva. So I will certainly be looking out for this. It's coming up very soon. It's going to be on the 19th of March, Tuesday, the 19th of March, 4 p.m. That's 4 p.m. CET time, 11 a.m. EST time. Please mark your calendars. I hope you got a chance to look at the previous session of fundraising and the timing for that, but I have no doubt that these will be shared repeatedly closer to the time. Please, please mark your calendars. Please fill out the quiz, the feedback, and it helps us just improve on the service offering to you. Thank you so very much to everybody for their time today. A special thanks to Tusi. Thank you so much to the moderators. Thank you so much to the participants with the questions and those who came to share as well. Absolutely appreciated. Have a good rest of day, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. And yes, look out for those additional messages on future sessions. Thank you very much, everyone.